to silence black men on YouTube. They're basically admitting that they cannot debunk our arguments. Because see, when you have the upper hand in a fight, you don't ask bystanders to break it up. You only ask them to get your opponent off of you if you're losing the fight. Yet they claim to be strong. So I chalk this up as an obvious victory. And as you can see, the creator of this movement claims that black men have been tarnishing the image of black women over the past 10 years. Anybody with a fraction of a brain cell knows that that is a joke. Black men on YouTube have simply been shining light on how black women have been tarnishing their own image. And they have been pleading to black women to stop tarnishing their image. Because in truth, as black women tarnish their own image, they tarnish the overall image of the black race to a certain extent. When black men articulate how black women tarnish their image in various ways, this makes black women feel uncomfortable. You cannot be a concerned counterpart, because when you see them on the wrong path, they don't want you to bring it to their attention. They don't want you to say anything about it at all. The only time it's allowed that somebody points out the dysfunction of another is when it is they themselves pointing out black male dysfunction. Anything that comes out of your mouth as a black man is translated into hate speech. So when you say that it is a problem that black women abort over 1,000 babies each day, somehow that is hate speech. When you point out that it is insecurity and a stark inferiority complex, self-hatred that drove black women to make a culture out of altering themselves, altering their identity to reflect the identity of other races, even to the extent of literally putting the hair of other races on their physical body. When you point this out, somehow this is hate speech. When you articulate how this behavior and culture destroys the minds of black children and works to instill an inferiority complex into those black children, somehow that is hate speech against black women. Now I could go on and on, but for the sake of time, let me move on. The Black Female Collective is now basically seeking to run and hide behind YouTube community guidelines because they cannot debunk what these black men put before them, even though these black men have not even violated community guidelines. We as black men welcome the criticisms of black women with open arms because we're totally confident in our ability to debunk their criticisms. We want you to speak your mind. The thought of flagging your channel doesn't even cross our minds. We want to take your argument and deconstruct it. That is an exercise of power, not running and flagging channels. That is an exercise of cowardice, of fear, of waving a white flag. So this crusade to silence black men is an act of submission. It is their way of admitting that they are unable to take your arguments and actually prove that it is hate speech, because if they could, they would do so, because they would then expose you as nothing but emotional crybabies. And why would they not take the opportunity to do that, which would be a real act of intelligence and power? Right? They want to run to YouTube and say, please take this down, because we have absolutely no answer for their criticisms. This despite the fact that they're always bragging about how intelligent and educated they are in comparison to black men. So black men should not view this as black women having the upper hand. You should view this for what it is, a white flag, surrender. How much more proof and evidence do you need to understand that this claim of being strong is nonsense? Just imagine if it were black men who initiated a movement to flag the channels of every black woman who made criticisms of black men. Rest assured, black women would mock you, and they would accuse you of being what? Weak. They would accuse you of not being man enough to take criticism. Just imagine how weak and intellectually inept that would make black men look. Yet black women have the unmitigated gall to campaign behind the backdrop of being strong and powerful. Now, I ain't made a video in several months. When I saw this list and I saw my channel on it, I figured this was a good time to drop a whole new album, because y'all clearly ain't got the message. We ain't going nowhere. You may as well face the music. The black man is the closest thing to God in person walking this earth. Y'all know that better than anybody. That is exactly why you're ducking and hiding behind community guidelines, like Adam and Eve was ducking and hiding from the presence of God in the Garden of Eden. Because you know full well that you've betrayed your race. You have refused to get behind the intellectual leadership of your men. And when you listen to the videos of these black men on YouTube, they are providing guidance, whether it be through bitterness, whether it be through anger. They are delivering messages that if black women were to accept, would steer them onto the right path. You hear a lot of black women saying that no other group of men talk about their women the way black men do. But you never hear those black women consider the possibility that no other group of men are as concerned with the dysfunction of their women in community as black men are, as black men have always been. One of the major differences between black men and black women is that black men have never had a problem admitting to the things that they do wrong. Whenever the topic comes up of dealing with problems in the black community, black men are the first ones to say that black men need to stop doing this and stop doing that. Black men need to instead do this and that. Black men are the first ones to talk about how they need to treat black women better, be better fathers, and so forth. But when black women open their mouths to speak on this issue of problems in the black community, the first and only thing they want to talk about is how black men need to do this and do that and stop doing this and stop doing that. You never hear them say that black women themselves need to stop doing this and that, because their main concern is not about the improvement of the community. Their main concern is avoiding having to confront their own dysfunctions because they are full of fear. This is not the behavior of a strong group of people. This is the behavior of a weak people. Being strong is not about being loud, rude, and flagging channels. Being strong is being able to admit your flaws and take the criticisms of others and debunk them if you can. And black men have never had a problem doing that. And I had a feeling something would bring me out of YouTube retirement. There have been several black men who have warned black women that this campaign to silence black men would backfire. Not only is that the truth, that is an understatement. And I can show you better than I can tell you. All you gotta do is stay tuned.